Welcome to the Oracle of the Feather Crown Tree. This is a love reading for anyone interested in masculine energy. So I'll do my best not to get gender convoluted into this and whatnot. And I'll also explain as we go through here the different positions of the card. Please pick a number 1 through 4 if you want to use this reading in a pick a card fashion to select your next love interest. I will also denote a elemental quality to each of those numbers. So if you don't want to pick, you can look at it in terms of if one of these dominant elements came into your life, that this would be perhaps the energy that you're going to be working with around them. So I'm really excited to share this with you. I have no idea what's going to come out, and I'm just going to dive in and see what happens here. So if you picked number 1, it's going to be our fire element. And what I'm seeing here is that you may find something a little bit unattractive about this person, a little bit threatening. Although it's this quality that exudes some power too, in a way where you feel like there's a lot of strength, but you feel maybe a little bit intimidated or scared by this strength. And it doesn't necessarily appeal to you in a way that beauty would appeal to you. It kind of makes you maybe not want to come close to it. It may even suggest that something tragic could come of this. You may be getting a hint of that, which is evoking fear in you maybe, but this is something that could actually be a source of transformation for you. Help you close out a cycle. And maybe this individual is really good at that too, getting things finished, bringing things to an end so that there can be new beginnings, and doing sometimes the work that our fear holds us back from. So the attraction here could be because you're trying to learn that lesson of mastering fear. So our water element number 2 is going to be someone that you may find very physically alluring, a little bit different maybe than what you're normally attracted to. And because of this, there might be something a little off-putting or mysterious, we might say, about the intrigue here. It definitely has a suggestion of learning through this individual about something that you are just not privy to without having the experience of it with another person. Like you can't learn what you would learn through this individual through a book. It has to be experienced in partnership and in journey together. There could be a lot of higher energy that comes through. You may have a spiritual connection here, but it's a spiritual connection that can also work on the deepest level of transforming things, making changes in the spiritual realm that really manifest in the earthly realm. Again, this energy might feel a little bit unnerving, a little like you might hesitate if you're approached by this person. But I also feel that if you do come into partnership with this person, that you may be very different and you may be very complementary, as you should be. I really have this thing with opposites attracting right now. So I guess don't feel intimidated like you have to have the mastery or the knowingness that this individual may have. It's okay to be your own entity. Okay, so if you picked number 3, that's going to be an earth dominant individual. This person you may feel might be a little bit hard to get to know. They might be a little bit more shy and quiet and have that observer quality. You might find yourself trying to read their thoughts a lot. Or you may find yourself thinking that they have something to hide. Yet you do get a sense that this person has a very strong energy that's self-contained and allows them to grow in a way that's really harmonizing with what feels natural. Like there's no push to be something more than they are, to exert greater force than need be. So there is this sort of mastery of knowing how to exist in this world and be at ease in this world with the laws of nature. So this person may be able to teach you that as well. And they may be, kind of like the quiet type, like I said, but it doesn't mean that they're not a touchy person. I think that they may really want to be really hands-on, really sensual, but not in a way that's like exerting too much luxury. Okay, so if you picked number 4, that's also going to be an air sign. What I'm seeing here is that this individual might be a little bit hard to pin down. They may be busy. They may be somewhere else. They may be wanting to go somewhere else. They may not have the actual direction that's really meant from them in sight. So there's a feeling of kind of having to experiencing something, in a path that isn't straight and direct. They may be on a path where you may see where their true talent or true focus lies, and they may be like, no, I should be going this direction and doing all this other stuff. So you may not really quite get this person, or not find that they are focused on what they need to be. I kind of sense that you may feel impatient and have a hard time getting close to them. This may make you perceive them. You may project that frustration, and you may be having that reflected back to you, but I don't think that they intend for that to happen. They mean you no harm. They're just it's almost like an Aquarian energy. They're just very independent, and they need to pursue life as they need to. But it's really doesn't speak any less of you. Although I don't get a feeling that they're trying to bond with you necessarily, like they're trying to get in a serious relationship, because whatever vehicle that they're using, whatever it is that's sort of assisting them to get where they need to go, seems to be what they're really bonded to right now. So it could be a job, it could be something in education that they're pursuing. It could just be kind of an independent project that they're trying to get towards a goal. And they're very goal-oriented too. They're not so much like relaxed into the process of things. So this may be why they're not valuing partnership so much, because they're just so hyper-focused on, the fulfillment of the dream instead of the play and community that goes into making things happen. And maybe Also getting that they're kind of, cultivated to be this way. So maybe you'll see a pattern like this in their family, or, it's been kind of like indoctrinated into them. So they don't really know another way. And that might be something that if you do end up interacting with them, that they can learn through you the value of partnership. Okay, so those are your 4 potential new loves. They could also be your existing loves if you are dealing with someone with those that's, has a dominant earth sign element, or is, an earth sign, sun sign. However you want to place meaning there is fine. So I'm now going to look at what they find most attractive about you and what they find the most unattractive. And this attractiveness is really gives people enough bonding to learn lessons from one another. So what I see for their attraction towards you is that you are kind of one that lights the way. You could be the bringer of wisdom, insight, clarity. You have a sense of direction when there could be chaos and, fog around you, that you're willing and you're motivated enough within yourself to go out and forge a path in the world without fear. Not with a ton of ego, but it's like you have a really great way of just standing in your natural power and acting. So you may be very good at, not, like you may not be the type that's just sort of laying back and letting the world pass you by, basically. They'll also be attracted to you physically. There's definitely sensualness about you, something that might even evoke a little classicism mixed with a little naturalness and something maybe, like you might just be enough odd that they can't quite figure you out. There might just be one element about you that just seems to throw you off and creates a little bit of mystery for them. Now, what they may find unattractive about you is that you never tire. You may be one that's like willing to go the long haul, and you will put yourself through so much. You're just so resilient that you could seem too independent, and it may just heighten your beauty and your appeal, where they may feel even intimidated by you, but also they may feel that there's not much left for them. There's not much room for them to fit into this scenario. Like, you got everything. And you may not be actively communicating that you need them. You may just be so used to being isolated, aren't we all? And that you've kind of lost this need to really have partnership in your life. But you're nonetheless any less magnificent and appealing to them. And I do sense that you're a little bit weary, a little bit battle weary in a way of, you versus the world, and that they get that. And that maybe they just want to be, the first step in a community for you, building or, part of what it means to be a family, in these times we might be really seeking that again and understanding the purpose of coming together, of having partnership and tribe and cooperation. Okay, now I'm going to look at the harmonious aspects and disharmonious aspects. And what seems to be harmonious is that they're the relationship feels like it's active, that many opinions can live at once amongst yourselves. You can be of many minds, and you could kind of be exploring different perspectives together. You may feel comfortable looking at things that can be traced back to very fundamental thought, things that are tried and true, and you may be bringing those up and reevaluating that, or getting back to the basics and really looking at how things are governed, how things are ruled by thought, how thought dictates our reality. And so you may have a real meeting of the minds together, which creates a lot of rapport, and it could also give you a feeling of, I wouldn't say it's like completely emotional, but when thought is kind of verging on what feels emotional because it's flowing so easily. And I see that this could be going on like in a home setting, like you might be, or kind of like an indoor-outdoor space. You might be out on the patio, out on the porch, and having conversations, and they might be really active, and they could be both, that and relaxed at the same time. So it's interesting. Like this feels very, like there's a lot of potential there. So what I see that could be not a harmonic component of this would be some distancing going on, and not so much because of ego, but because there's a true sense that maybe an individual really has a calling and really needs to be in another area to be satisfying that aspect of their reality, and it's not personal towards you, or vice versa. But because of this, it does create a lack of intimacy, and it might create judgment and suspicion, and it's just not good for trust building and bonding altogether. And I feel like the person that may have to be away, should this be the case for anyone, isn't entirely happy with this. It doesn't completely satisfy them, but they're just not at that point where they can risk it all for love. They need to stay true to what they've committed to, and it's of no joy or ease to them. So maybe there's a way in should this be a bond, that this can be mitigated somehow. But I will have to say, distance sometimes is helpful in relationships too. It can be a factor that isn't necessarily, a horrible thing to contend with. Okay, so I'm going to now look at your center card, which is going to be the true most intense part of what brings you together. Your deepest bond, the bond that's the hardest to break in this relationship. And I see that you may really enjoy traveling together. Like you may enjoy vacations. That might be a place where you can really do a lot of bonding. So maybe there's not a lot of time around one another in the home, but when you can, plan an escape, you come together, and that this is something that you both want to do. It makes you reconnect in a way that fulfills you not only as a couple, but there's something so new and invigorating about the environment that you can learn from together, that it's really an experience that makes you grow, and you don't really care about where you're going in this experience. There doesn't have to be a destination. Like it's that beautiful thing where you are, going some. It's paradoxical, like you are going somewhere, but you're so lost in the moment that you don't really care about it. You are truly enjoying the journey just for the journey. And this just may bring you a lot of pleasure and really build your potential to have a lot of love grow amongst you. Now, if you can't physically travel, you may just enjoy learning about things that are about other areas or about traveling together. This just may be a passion that you share amongst yourselves, and these travels may be connected with something spiritual too, where you grow in that identity, or you kind of develop something in the spiritual reality a little bit more, which further increases your interest towards one another. So, ultimately I see that there is a potential here for whatever scenario plays out, that this could be a very exciting, energized bond that happens. So I wish you well. Thank you for joining me, and I will also have a reading for the other energy. So please look for that. Earlier this week I put out the monthlies for Virgo season, so if you want to look at those for your astrology sign, please feel free to. Okay, you guys take good care.